So the county came out with 4 different online calculators that you can use for matrices. The TI-84 Plus for the Chromebooks, the Graphing Calc 83, and the Wabbit EMU for Android. Those are all 3 pretty much the same thing. Then we have the Desmos Matrix Online Calculator. The only problem with the Desmos calculator is it's not going to change your answers to fractions, which will be a problem when you get to part 2 of doing the work. So first we're going to start off with how to use the TI-84 calculator. So you can get this on the Chromebook, on your iPhone, or on the Android. And to start off with these, we are going to go to second, and then you see how it says matrix above x to the -1 button? So you press that. And we have not filled in any of those matrices. So what you have to do is you have to arrow over to edit and click on a matrix that you want to make. So I would recommend just starting with A. And for the first part, we're only finding determinants of a 2x2 matrix. So up at the top here, you want to change those to be 2 rows and 2 columns. Now from there, you would just enter in whatever the matrix that you want to calculate is. So I'm just going to make one up. Let's try 8, -5, 2, and 1. Okay, so after you've put in your matrix, you press second mode, or that gives you the quit button. So second mode allows you to quit. Now, depending on what you're doing, determines your next step. So in order to find a determinant, you would go to second matrix, and you want to arrow over to the math button. Now DET is the determinant, so you would click on that. And I want to find the determinant of matrix A, so you press second matrix again. And we put in matrix A, so I'm going to select that. I'm going to close the parentheses and press enter. So the determinant of matrix A is 18. To find the inverse of matrix A, you would press second matrix. You would click on matrix A, and to get the inverse, you hit the x to the -1 button. Now, you would have to arrow over to figure out the decimals, but it does not allow you to type in the decimals, and if you do put them in, it's going to count it as incorrect. So you want to hit math, change everything to a fraction, so enter and enter again. And those give you the fraction values that you want to put into the quizzes that are on MyMCPS. Now it also lets you add matrices, multiply matrices. You would just have to go back to editing the matrix, so you would press second and then matrix, go over to edit, and this time I would choose matrix B. And I'm just going to make another 2x2 matrix here. Let's say 5, 1, -2, and 3. You need to quit. And this is just if you wanted to multiply matrix A by matrix B, it allows you to do that. It also allows you to add them by the same way. You go to second matrix, select A, you put plus second matrix, and you click the B one, and it allows you to add them. So really everything is in that second matrix button, which is second x to the -1. So that takes care of if you have a TI-84 calculator. If you're using the TI-84 app for a Chromebook, it's the same thing on the Wabbit EMU for Android. The graphing calc is very, very similar. Let me show you how that looks just for a second. So the graphing calc app, it just looks like a zoomed in version of the TI-84 calculator. You still press second and matrix. You still would go over to edit to type in matrix A. The only thing that I found was different is that you have to press 2 and then you have to hit the enter button to come up with the rows. You would hit 2 and the enter button for columns. You would put in your matrix, and after each number you have to hit enter. And the same thing, you have to second quit to get rid of it. Go back to the matrix, hit math if you want the determinant, select the matrix you want to use and hit enter. So it's pretty much the same thing for using the iPhone app. I am going to show you next what it looks like on the Desmos matrix calculator. So on the matrix calculator, you would hit new matrix. You would change the rows and columns if you needed to, and you hit add. Put in whatever the matrix is. And again, I'm just making up one. And you hit enter. That enters in matrix A, so you can do calculations with it. Now from there, let's say I wanted to find the determinant. You would hit the DET button, and then you would hit the A button. That finds the determinant of matrix A. If I wanted to find the inverse, I would hit A and the negative first button. And do you see how they only have them as decimals? I don't see a way that you can change them into fractions. So this calculator is not the best for when you want to find the inverse of a matrix. Now the last type of calculator is the school calculators. And for the school calculator, to enter in a matrix, you press the button right next to the 9 with the 3 dots. And let me zoom in here for a second. You can see that you can select a 2x2 matrix, a 3x3 matrix, and if you click on the 3x3 matrix, it also lets you change the number of rows and columns. I just need to cancel this real quick. If you want to find the determinant on this calculator, you would go to Menu. Matrix is under number 7. And to find the determinant, you would choose number 3. Then you would put in the matrix. So there's no saving the matrix in this calculator. You hit the button next to the 9. And we are finding the determinants of a 2x2 matrix. You can put in some numbers and hit enter, and it gives you the determinant. If you want to find the inverse of a matrix, you would hit the button next to the 9, pick what kind of matrix you want, and you have to arrow out of your matrix. So I'm on the outside of the matrix there with the blinking cursor. And then you hit the up button, the little arrow that points up, and you type in a -1. That gives you the inverse for the matrix, and this comes out directly as fractions. So that gives you an overview of how to use each type of calculator.